Hey, what's up, y'all? Well, it is time to update the college football top 25 going into week 12. Uh, yeah, of course, new college football playoff rankings coming out tonight. But anyway, yeah, so of course, we will start with others receiving votes. Uh, I did have Pitt, Arizona State, and um, Tulane and Louisiana. But anyway, so now we will put up the first nine, which will be 25 through 17. And then, of course, Pitt did get dropped from the rankings after taking their second loss to Virginia. And 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 then I was trying to choose between Mizzou and Arizona State, uh, and I did end up settling on Mizzou. Now, now, of course, both teams are underdogs to their opponents this week, so neither team might be ranked next week anyway. So I mean, it really didn't matter which one I picked, but I mean, I guess I picked Mizzou because of SEC bias, right? Well, I guess I decided that Mizzou's losses are better because they did lose to Bama and A&M, and who did Arizona State lose to? They lost to yeah, I can't remember, but I think they were both unranked teams. It was like Cincinnati and someone. I think it was like Cincinnati and Texas Tech, or yeah, I think were Arizona State's two losses. So, but anyway, now of course I didn't put Tulane in over Mizzou because Mizzou beat Oklahoma and Tulane lost to Oklahoma. Right? No group of five losses for Tulane. They did beat um, Louisiana, and that's their only loss. But anyway, Mizzou ended up being the team that I put in. Now, who is Mizzou's best win? I guess it's against Vanderbilt. But anyway, this week, Mizzou does play South Carolina, so they will sort of, get a chance to prove themselves. Of course, they're coming off with a win against Oklahoma. Now, at number 24, I do have Iowa State. I decided not to drop Iowa State all the way out, like I did with Pitt, because Iowa State at least has, some kind of, path forward, toward winning something, whereas, Pitt does not. Pitt, the rest of their schedule coming up is, It'd be pretty hard. I mean, they'll probably lose to Clemson. They'll probably lose to Louisville. So, I mean, it was good while Pitt lasted, but it's all over for Pitt. So, but I mean, Iowa State is not dead. I mean, they can still make the Big 12 championship if they win out, and if Colorado loses a game. Anyway, so Iowa State lost to Texas Tech and Kansas. So right now they're sitting on back-to-back losses. I mean, those are both bad losses too. Obviously, Kansas being a much worse loss because they're a 3-win team. But anyway, so who is their best win? I guess it's still got to be Iowa, right? They don't have any ranked wins. So next, Iowa State does play at Cincinnati. Anyway, next, how about number 23? Is where I put Louisville. And I got South Carolina at 22. I did end up switching those two around. I mean, well, partly, to say sorry to South Carolina for doubting you against Vandy, and so I'm gonna move you up 3 spots and jump you ahead of Louisville. So now so now I think that anyway, South Carolina lost to LSU, Alabama, and Ole Miss. There was nothing you could do about the Ole Miss loss. You got blown out. But you only lost to Bama and LSU by a combined 5 points. So you could very easily be 8-1 right now. And then yes, I have to have you below LSU, obviously, because you lost to LSU, and I know you got robbed, but it still goes down into the loss column. So I did decide that South Carolina just has better losses than Louisville. So of course Louisville lost to Notre Dame, Miami, and SMU. And then who was Louisville's best win? Yeah, it's got to be against Clemson. Yeah. And South Carolina's best win, of course, would have to be Texas A&M. Wait, so next up, I think Louisville, is is off this week. Yeah, I forgot who Louisville plays, but whatever. Anyway, South Carolina, of course, coming off a win against Vandy. They do host Mizzou next. Okay, since now moving on, we got LSU at 21. They did fall. I, I had them at 12 last week. So, yeah, they fell 9 places after just getting absolutely obliterated by Alabama. And now they are eliminated from playoff contention. Anyway, LSU also lost to Southern Cal beginning of the season. That's a bad loss. They also lost to who's the other team they lost to? It was Texas A&M. Yep. Anyway, but you did beat South Carolina, and you also beat Ole Miss. Anyway, you got Florida this week at Florida. Now let's see. Next up we got at number 20. I do have Army. I mean, I know that Army hasn't played anyone, but I mean, unbeaten is unbeaten. They haven't played anyone, but they also haven't lost anyone. I mean, you did beat North Texas last week. And now you get a bye before playing Notre Dame. And yeah, Army's best wins are against East Carolina and North Texas. They haven't even played a bowl eligible team. Anyway, so next up, I did put number 19. We do have Washington State. Just sitting on the one loss to Boise State. They did beat Washington and Texas Tech. So yeah, they do play at New Mexico this week. Anyway, Washington State, just making the best, of a bad situation, getting left out of a conference. You of course, did get your revenge against Washington for leaving you behind by beating them. I mean, they just put together the schedule that they could. And yeah, do you think that maybe getting left out is kind of maybe fueling them? So, but anyway, but Washington State, not being in a conference, and they just don't have the strength of schedule to be considered for the playoffs. So. But anyway, so 18 is where I did decide to put Colorado. Of course, the 2 losses. It lost to Nebraska. Yep, that was a bad loss. And their other loss was to Kansas State. And again, now put some respect on Coach Prime in Colorado. I mean, they're a lot better than I or pretty much anyone besides Colorado fans thought y'all would be. So, but anyway, now Colorado, of course, with still has a chance to make the playoffs. If you can win the Big 12 title game, right? So you just have to win out, and then you're probably playing BYU in the Big 12 title game. Anyway, so who's Colorado's best win? I guess it's got to be against. Is it against Texas Tech? Yeah, they do have the best record, so I guess it's Texas Tech who you just beat. And this week you host Utah. And at number 17, we do have Kansas State. Obviously, they have to be ahead of Colorado because they beat Colorado. Let's see. And the best win for Kansas State is Colorado. That's their only ranked win. Now, sitting at 2 conference losses, I guess you do still have a chance to make the playoffs. So you do lose to Houston. That's a bad loss. And then who was the other loss to? Shit, I'm trying. Oh, yes, right. Yeah, BYU. You got blown out by BYU. So I mean, 2 conference losses, but I mean, I mean, you could still get into the Big 12 championship if you win out. That would include a win over Iowa State, and if Colorado loses another game. Anyway, so now let's move on to the next 8. So it's going to be 16 through 9. At number 16, we do have Clemson, and number 15, Texas A&M. I did end up switching these two from last week. Anyway, just because, I mean, at least A&M, has a ranked win against LSU, whereas Clemson has 0 ranked wins. Let's see. Clemson. They lost to, of course, Georgia to start the season. Got blown out, and then lost to Louisville. It was Kansas State playing. Yeah, Kansas State hosts Arizona State next. Anyway, Clemson lost to Georgia and Louisville. But who is Clemson's best win, though? Is it NC State or Virginia or Virginia Tech, who you just beat? I don't know. It's one of those. But anyway, next, you do play at Pitt next, so they'll be the best team you've played. But meanwhile, A&M does at least have one quality win against LSU that should put them ahead of Clemson. Anyway, who did A&M lost to Notre Dame to start the season, and the loss to South Carolina. It got blown out on the road. Anyway, next game you host New Mexico State coming out of a bye. Next, you got number 14, Miami. And I did drop the U down 4 places after losing to Georgia Tech. I mean, yes, and that is a bad loss. Georgia Tech has 4 losses. I mean, so this is Miami's first loss. I mean, who is Miami's best win? Yeah, it's Louisville. But anyway, I mean, if Miami wins out, still going to make the ACC championship. So, and this week, I think Miami is on a bye this week. So they play next. I think they play like Wake Forest next, and then Syracuse. Anyways, now let's look at number 13. I do have Boise State. They're coming off a struggle win against Nevada, but I mean SMU also almost lost to Nevada at the beginning of the season. But anyway, they only lost to Oregon. They lost to the number 1 team by 3 points, and best win is against Washington State, who they beat by 3 touchdowns. Anyway, yeah. See, so now at number 12, I do have SMU. Now, SMU is in the driver's seat in the ACC right now, which is why I have them ranked ahead of Miami and ahead of Boise State. I mean, SMU is going to get a higher seed than Boise State for winning the ACC. I think it's going to get treated with more merit than a Mountain West title. Anyway, now I did put Boise State ahead of Miami because, I mean, Georgia Tech ran it down Miami's throat. I mean, what do you think Ashton Jeanty would do to Miami's defense? Anyways, SMU undefeated in the ACC. They do have the 1 loss to BYU by a field goal. See, they do have a win over Louisville. Anyway, they also have a win over Pitt, but now that doesn't look as good with Pitt no longer ranked. Anyway, number 11, I do have Georgia, and I did drop us down 9 places from number 2 to number 11 after suffering our second loss to Ole Miss. Hence why I have Ole Miss and Alabama ahead of Georgia, because we lost to both of them. So, but anyway, of course, we do still have the win against Texas and Clemson. We have a chance for another quality win against Tennessee this week. We host Tennessee in Athens. So I mean, if we win out, we'll probably make the playoffs. anyway, number 10, I've got, who's it? Yeah, this week, SMU plays. They host Boston College, and Boise State is at San Jose State. Anyway, number 10, you do have Ole Miss. They do have the two losses to, they lost to LSU. And then you also lost to Kentucky. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Yeah, that's a bad loss. But anyway, you did, of course, get the the big win against Georgia. But anyway, yeah, you did beat South Carolina as well. Anyway, I think you're off this week. Anyway, next up at number 9, you have number 9. We do have Alabama. Of course, they have the two losses to Vandy. That's an embarrassing loss. You also lost to Tennessee. That's not so bad. But I mean, you do have the win against Georgia and the win against LSU and also South Carolina and Mizzou. Yes, you've got quite a few ranked wins. Anyway, so I did put, so Bama does play Mercer this week. Let's see, Bama. Okay. Right, I did put Bama ahead of Ole Miss because Ole Miss lost to LSU. Alabama beat LSU. All right, now it's time for the top 8. So at number 8 this week, I do have Tennessee. And Tennessee just has the loss to Arkansas. And that was a bad loss, but I mean, at least you do have the win against Alabama. Anyway, let's see. Now, I have Tennessee at number 8, but I have Notre Dame and Penn State ahead of Tennessee. Well, I'll tell you what, Tennessee, man, you beat Georgia, and this week, and I'm gonna move you up, way up. I mean, of course, I'm gonna put you ahead of Texas. I mean, you'll be jumping Notre Dame and Penn State too. So, but anyway, so moving on, number 7, we do have Notre Dame. I mean, even though yes, Notre Dame lost to NIU, they also have the wins against Texas A&M and Louisville. I did put Notre Dame ahead of Tennessee because Tennessee has just, been, playing better football lately. It's like, Tennessee was struggling at home with teams like Florida and Kentucky. So, which is why I did drop Tennessee below Notre Dame. Anyway, Notre Dame gets their, they do host Virginia this week. See, number 6, I do have Penn State. They just have a loss to Ohio State, who I have as the number 2 team. But who is Penn State's best win? And who have they played? They haven't really played anyone. Yes, they have a really good loss, but they haven't played anyone. I guess their best win was, I guess it's got to be against Illinois. Anyway, this week they do play at Purdue. All right, let's see. Get Penn State wins out, and they're in. Notre Dame and Penn State both have pretty easy remaining paths. Anyway, let's see. Next, how about at number 5, I do have Indiana. Indiana is 10-0. First 10-win season in program history. Oh, even though Indiana hasn't played a ranked team, I mean, you still, can't deny what they've done this year. I mean, yes, they're playing, bad teams, but I mean, they're blowing them out. They're beating all of them by double digits, except for Michigan. But anyway, who is Indiana's best win? Is it Michigan? Or maybe it's Washington? I mean, Washington did beat Michigan, so I guess it's Washington. Or I guess Nebraska is also a good win. I mean, you just absolutely obliterated Nebraska. Anyway, so, unbeaten is unbeaten. I've got Indiana number 5. And then number 4, anyway, so the reason why I do have BYU ahead of Indiana is because BYU at least has, some quality wins. Yeah, that's why I put Indiana, maybe BYU ahead of Indiana and Texas. BYU has the wins against SMU and Kansas State, which is why I put BYU at number 3, although they did not look good last week. Almost lost to Utah. I mean, Utah is still in the driver's seat in the Big 12, though. Of course, they've got, they host Kansas this week. Let's see, Texas, let's see, Indiana is off this week before big showdown against Ohio State. Texas, let's see, they have the loss to Georgia and 0 ranked wins. What's Texas' best win? It's got to be Vandy by a field goal. And I mean, if Texas loses to A&M, then they're probably not getting into the playoffs, because that would give Texas 0 ranked wins. Anyway, okay, now top 2, number 2, we do have Ohio State. Of course, they only lost to number 1 by 1. So, because Ohio State's best win is against Penn State. Anyway, they do play at Northwestern this week, before Indiana, of course, looms next week. Okay, so then now finishing things up, of course, we got Oregon, uh, the uh, uh, the undisputed #1. Of course, the win against Ohio State. Also beat Boise State. And they've, blown out everyone else they've played, well, except for Idaho in week 1. But anyway, this clobbered um, Maryland this week. Last week. Next up, they're at Wisconsin. See Ohio State. Ohio State just absolutely obliterated Purdue last week. See Texas is at Arkansas. Anyway, so that's gonna be it. So yeah. So let me know what y'all think in the comments below, and thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all again next time.